Welcome to The Historians, a new series here on the History Shorts where I sit down with two of the brightest minds in their field for an informal, unscripted conversation about the biggest questions history asks of us. No panels, no debate, no agenda, just two people who've spent their careers living inside these questions, finally getting to talk shop together. For this first episode, I couldn't have asked for better company. Dr. Joseph J. Ellis is a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian and the author of some of the most celebrated books ever written about the founding era. Dr. Carol Berkin is one of America's foremost historians of early America. She has spent her career making sure we remember not just the men in the room, but everyone else who was left out of it. Who's the hothead, do you think? Who's like the guy that's like in the room and everyone's like, oh,
Albert
he's gonna blow
Gary.
his top.
Albert Gary. Did you know that he is one of the funniest characters in? He had no friends except John Adams.
Mhm.
Nobody liked him. I tell my audiences he was the Ted Cruz of the 18th century. Gary understood what was happening, and he stood up in the House of Representatives. He stood up and gave these long and very clever, very, very sly. And finally, if you read the letters of the other men in the Congress, they're saying things like, we could have been finished with this 5 weeks ago if Elbridge Gary would sit down and shut up. And that's how they felt about him forever.
I, from the start, operated on the assumption that all of these people were ordinary human beings. They were not gods. They were, and they had their flaws.
Or did they?
And that was at the time a somewhat radical view, but that I think I was right about that. And it's interesting that in emerging world powers often seem to require mythical heroes. Rome had Romulus and Remus, and one of the reasons that Adams has no monument on the tidal basin is that he doesn't fit. He's too obviously imperfect and honest.
You find out idiosyncrasies about so many of these people that you can't help but know, as you've said, you can't help but know they were ordinary people. You know, the number of men who wound up in jail for what we would call today Ponzi schemes, or for a debt, or for the number of people who cheated on their wives, and I don't just mean with slaves. I mean, it's just, they're just guys. And that's what makes, I always say when I give the talk on that on the Constitutional Convention, I start with every country has to have a birth myth, but I end with, are they superheroes? No.
Right.
That's what makes them admirable. They managed to produce the Constitution, and they were really a group of mere mortals.